صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم رضي الله تعالى عنه وسادة التابعين وعلماء المدينة وأئمة أربعة المجتهدين ومقلديهم إلى يوم الدين وبعد. So we continue our class on Sawq al Ummah لابتداء السنة المحمدية صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the text once again is about mobilizing the people to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in regards to their fara'id, in regards to their obligatory, their obligation, their individual obligations. And we're basing it's based on the behavior of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So last week we did the introduction. This week we will do, go into the first section of the first chapter. Now, just a little bit to give you a little backing. When you discuss the issue of Iman, right? Tasdeeq, right? Acceptance firmly in the heart of everything which Ja'a Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that everything that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came with, Ja'a, right? Now, what's so unique about this is that this particular text, with every subject or subtitle, every subject heading or subtitle, the Shaykh begins it with ما جاء فيما يحكم به, right? That what he came with, meaning Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So not only he connecting the hadith, but it's mu'amilat, behave what is expected to be behaved upon, confirm sunnahs of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? As the Shaykh mentioned, that the majority of the hadith in here is between Bukhari and Muslim, right? That's what we went over last week. And I can't stress enough the importance of memorization, right? The importance of memorization. These memorizing a mas'ala, the issue, is very, very, very important. Because this is not from memorizing it, this is also how you act upon it as well, when you behave upon it. When a person doesn't know a thing or doesn't act upon a thing, you won't see no resemblance or resemblance whatsoever about the thing he's supposed to be acting upon. So when you're learning about the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your knowledge is supposed to be a reflection of the behavior of what you memorize from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sunnah. Alright? So we'll read the first section. I'm gonna read the Arabic, alright? And then we'll go to the translation and do an explanation as well. And there'll be information that you should take notes on. قال المؤلف رحمه الله كتاب الإيمان ما جاء فيما يحكم به إسلام العبد وإيمانه في الدنيا. وفي صحيح البخاري عن ابن عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أمرت على قتل الناس حتى يشهدوا أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة فإذا فعلوا ذلك عصموا مني دماءهم وأموالهم إلا بالحق الإسلامي وحسابهم على الله. وفي أيضا عن أنس بن مالك قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى صلاتنا واستقبال قبلاتنا وأكل ذبيحاتنا فذلك المسلم الذي له ذمات الله وذمات رسوله فلا يغفر الله في ذماته. وفيه عن انس بن مالك ايضا قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم امرت ان قتل الناس حتى قالوا ان لا اله الا الله فاذا قال وصلوا صلاتنا واستقبال قبلاتنا وذهبوا ذبيحاتنا فقد حرمت علينا دماؤهم وأموالهم إلا بالحقها. وفي صحيح المسلم عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله تعالى عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إني لم أمر أن أنقب عن قلوب الناس ولا شق بطونهم. Now. So anyway, so this first section that we'll go over, Shaykh Muhammad al-Fudiyo, the author, he says, Kitab al-Iman, the book on belief, right? The book on belief. He says, on what he, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, came with regarding the judgment of a person's Islam upon the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be verified in this life, and his belief in the next life, right? Now, so he says it's been narrated in the Sahih al-Bukhari, right? On the authority of Abu Abdurrahman Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab. Okay? So, who is Abu Abdurrahman Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab? Okay, we're going to talk just a little bit. We're going to touch just a little bit, not a whole lot. Okay? His name is Abdullah. He's the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Umar ibn al-Khattab is the second Khalifa, also one of the close companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, make a mental note of this. Where's your phone before you put your notes out? Also, he was the father-in-law of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His daughter was Hafsa, and Hafsa was the Zawj of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. So Abdullah was the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Okay. He's more famously known as Ibn Umar. All right, because he's not the only one named Abdullah. Okay, so you'll know him more famously as Ibn Umar. They said that he was about 7 to 8 years old when he embraced Islam. Okay, he's about 7 to 8 years old. He was a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Abdullah, he died about the age of 87. He died in Mecca the year 74 after Hijrah. Okay? Abdullah was also the brother-in-law of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Hafsa was his sister. Umar was his father. He said from Ibn Umar, he narrated at least 2,630 hadiths. Alright, remember that number.
How much?
He narrated at least 2,630 hadiths. Abdullah ibn Umar.
2,000 what?
630 hadith. From Ibn Umar's route, you find what is called the golden chain. From Imam Malik learned from Nafi', and Nafi' learned from Ibn Umar. So I'll say it again. What is known as the golden chain. Okay? Imam Malik learned from Nafi'. Nafi' learned from Abdullah ibn Umar. Radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So, the first hadith that we'll take is from the Sahih Imam Bukhari, where Abdullah ibn Umar, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Now remember, with this book, the judgment, he says, the Shaykh, he says, on what he sallallahu alaihi wasallam related concerning the judgment of Islam upon a lost slave that can be verified in this life. And what is his belief in this life? Okay? So this is the judgment of, like, basically, what is the criteria, how do you judge a person to be a Muslim in this life? And what is his, and what's regard to the belief of the Muslim in this life? Alright? So you put a person in the room, you put you in a room with 1 million people, and these 1 million people, until they start talking, once they start talking, how do you distinguish, or how would you know that they're Muslim? Okay? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in this hadith, he said, I have been commanded to fight people until they testify, La ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Okay? So the first thing is, if a person has shahada, okay, you don't fight them. Alright? That's first thing established. Why? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I've been ordered, umirtu. Who is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered by?
Allah.
By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So he's been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fight against the people until they testify there is no God except Allah. Okay? And he didn't stop there. He said also to establish the salah. Okay? So the Muslim is defined by 1, the shahada, 2,
Salat.
the establishment of salah. The next thing the Prophet ﷺ said in the same hadith, he gives zakat. Right? He really gives zakat. After the death of the Prophet ﷺ, one of the first groups to formulate and rebel against Abu Bakr as the Khalifa was the people who did not want to pay zakat. Alright? So that's very important to know. So the description of the people of La ilaha illallah, they are, number 1, they're people that have the what?
Salat.
The shahada.
Oh, shahada.
Shahada first, right? Because if you don't have shahada and you praying salat, you're not Muslim, right? So the first thing first is the shahada. And what is the shahada? How do you say the shahada? La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, or ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Right? The second thing that's established after the salat, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned is what?
Zakat. Zakat. After salat. Fasting.
Salat. The establishment of salat. Pay attention to the hadith.
I thought you just said after salat.
No, well, if I did say that, I didn't mean to say. I meant to say after shahada.
Oh.
The second thing that's established is the salat. The third thing that's established after the salat is what?
Zakat.
Zakat. Now, so then he goes on. The Prophet ﷺ said, if they do that, then their lives and their property will be protected from me, except by the rights of Islam. And their reckoning is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he says their reckoning with Allah, is meaning that we don't search for their faults, those things that we don't see about them. Their reckoning, their reality, everything, from that point on is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you're on a battlefield, and this happened to one of the Sahabas, they were on a battlefield fighting jihad, and the man screamed, La ilaha illallah, before he got killed, right? And the Muslim man still killed him, right? And when the Prophet ﷺ heard about this, the man's argument was, he was only saying that so he didn't die. The Prophet ﷺ asked, did you open his heart to see if he was sincere? Right? Like, this isn't your affair. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If he screams the shahada, then he's safe from you. Okay? Now, so the second hadith that is mentioned here is also related in Imam Bukhari's Sahih on the authority of Anas ibn Malik. Okay? Now let's talk a little bit about Anas ibn Malik. Anas ibn Malik was about 10 years old when his mother, Sulaim, presented him to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? She brought him to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so that he can learn and serve the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, all right. Put your izar down, show. Okay. He was brought to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so that he can live, reside with him, and learn from him. Okay, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this was shortly after the Hijrah. They said that Anas ibn Malik, he lived to be about 100, maybe 107 years old. Okay? Maybe about 100 to 107 years old. Anas ibn Malik was known to have narrated 2,286 hadith. 2,286 hadith. Alright? 2,286 hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
$2,000.
286 hadith. And he was known to live to about 107 years old. Okay, so Anas ibn Malik narrates that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever prays our prayer, right? Whoever prays our prayer, okay? Salatina. That's what it says in Arabic, all right? When studying, learning this hadith with Sheikh Muhammad Sharif, he emphasized on the dama'ir, the attached pronoun of na, The word salat by itself is salat. What does salat mean? Prayer, right? It attached the pronoun of nat on the end, salatina, our prayer. What was so unique in the emphasis on this salatina, our prayer, the salat is only one salat. It's the same salat. The things that are mandatory from you in the salat, it starts off with takbir ihram, right? Where you say Allahu Akbar, right? It also includes you standing in the prayer, standing erect in the prayer. It also requires you to recite the Fatiha and another surah in the first 2 rakats. And if it's more than 2 rakats, the other rakats is required of you to recite and also recite the Fatiha in the rakats other than the 2 rakat prayer, right? Now, you're responsible for these things, right? Also in the prayer is the ruku, the bowing, right? Also in the prayer is the returning from ruku. Also in the prayer is the sujood, the making the prostration, rising from it, the sitting, right? What is known as jalsa in the prayer, right? And this is one complete, and then you stand and do the same thing again. It's a complete rak'ah, one cycle of salat, right? How does the prayer end? With the salam. Not the salams, but salam, right? Once you taslim to the right, prayer is done, khalas. Right? The other side for some people is sunnah. Some people do 2 salams, but we found the practice with the amal is just one. One salam ends the prayer. Salatina, right? Okay, you put it over here, inshallah. When we finish doing my class after that, I'll play with you when you're playing. Salatina. In the salat, according to our way, the Amal of Medina, when you do the takbir ihram, where do your hands go?
Ears.
Huh?
To your ears.
You takbir, raise your hands, say Allahu Akbar. And then where they go after that? To your side, right? Does everybody pray like that?
No.
What's the other way people pray?
They put their arms
where they place the right hand over the left. Correct, Sah?
Yes.
Both of these have their foundation in their proofs in the behavior of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One will find the evidence to be stronger on one end, and the other one finds evidence to be stronger on the other end. Right? However, this doesn't invalidate the prayer. However, the prayer is still the same, but there's a subtle difference. Right? Now, after they finish, they recited Waladali Ameen, right? And they're going to takbir to say Allahu Akbar, right? Everybody doesn't always raise their hand on that next takbir, correct? Yes. Some people do. There's hadith to support both positions, okay? Salatina, our prayer. Meaning that it has this connection to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But also there's an indication that there's slightly difference. There may be some slight difference in the way that the prayer is performed in the little subtle differences, right? But here our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever prays our prayer, okay? If that is not enough support to believe in the differences, the next thing he says, whoever does istiqbalu qiblatina, whoever faces our qibla. For us in America, what way is Mecca? We face what direction? East or southeast, right? Some people do northeast, right? East. Okay, we dead set on that. We're west of the Kaaba, so we face east. Okay? Now, someone that's in the North Pole, what direction will they pray towards the Kaaba? South. Istiqbal qiblatina. Whoever faces our qibla. Someone who's in the South Pole, which way they're gonna face for the Qibla?
North.
North. Istiqbalu Qiblatina, right? And it's someone who is east of the Qibla, what way they're gonna face?
West.
West. However, the thing is, it doesn't change your facing the Qibla, right? You may be in a different direction because of the direction that you're facing, but however, the salat is still the same salat, but there's subtle differences. You see? Now go back to that with the actual prayer, the physical prayer in itself, there's no problem. If it has its foundations and roots in the Prophet ﷺ, one side is going to argue that the evidence is stronger, and Allah knows best. The truth will be settled on the Qiyamah. But it's nothing to be alarmed about in this dunya. Right? Now, the next he said, whoever slaughters as we slaughter, right? Whoever slaughters as we slaughter. The way your food, halal, eating halal, plays a major portion, a major part in determining how Muslim you are. It's just as important as prayer. If it wasn't as important as the salat, then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wouldn't have said it. Okay? This is determining factors of you being Muslim. So if you see a person praying, if you see a person facing the same qibla that you're facing, if you see a person eating halal, eating the slaughtered meats, right? He says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he eats our slaughtered animals. He said, for dhalika Muslim. That is a Muslim. Okay? So, from the first hadith, what are the signs of a Muslim? One is that they have shahada. 2,
Salat.
3,
Zakat.
okay, those are the 3 in the first hadith that's mentioned, right? In the second hadith that's mentioned, what is the signs? He said, whoever prays what? Prays the same prayer we pray. Faces the same qibla. And they eat the same halal, right? The slaughter. They do the slaughter the same way. He said, فَذَلِكَ الْمُسْلِمُ. Then that is a Muslim. They are Muslim. Okay? He said, therefore, they are under the protection of Allah and His Messenger. And do not betray Allah Ta'ala by betraying those who are under His protection. That's a threat. Do not betray a Muslim that is under Allah Ta'ala's protection. He prays. He eats halal. He faces the Qibla. He has shahada. He makes salat 5 times a day. He pays zakat. Do not betray that Muslim. The next hadith is the third hadith that's mentioned. It's also narrated by Bukhari in his Sahih on the behalf of Anas ibn Malik. It's almost the same hadith. It starts off the same way the hadith starts from Abdullah ibn Umar. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and what's translated, I have been ordered, umirtu, I've been ordered to uqatil an-nas, to fight people until they say, qalu, until they say, la ilaha illallah. Right? So when they're saying what? What is that they're screaming? They're saying? What does that mean?
There is no God except Allah.
There's no God except Allah and
His messenger.
Muhammad is the messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He says, if they say it, here it goes again, and they pray our prayer, face our qibla, slaughter as we slaughter. See how important eating halal is? Eating halal is a determining factor of a believer, but of course, the other things must be in play as well, because non-Muslims eat halal too now. Right? Then their life and their wealth will be made unlawful. It is haram to take their money and their life, except by what Allah Ta'ala demands by the right. And when he's saying by what Allah Ta'ala demands by right, meaning capital punishment for particular sins. Okay? And in the last hadith in this section, and we'll stop here inshallah, So what do? 4 hadiths today? It has been related in the Sahih Imam Muslim. It's in Imam Muslim's book. So the 2 books, what are the 2 books that's mainly he's deriving hadith from, extracting the hadith from? One is Sahih. Come on.
Bukhari.
Right. Sahih al-Bukhari. And what is the second book? Sahih
Muslim.
Muslim. Right. Commit that to memory. Those 2 sound books in Islam of hadith. Okay? Now, what can we say about Abu Sa'id al-Khudri? Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he narrated 1,100 hadith. Don't do that. He narrated 1,170 hadith. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Okay? Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. He narrated 1,170 hadith. Okay? And Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he made Shahada in Medina. He died in Medina at 64 after the Hijrah. And he was also amongst the younger Sahabas that were fuqaha, that were faqih, like jurists, okay, or lawyers, Muslim lawyers, if you will. All right, this is Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. And if I'm not mistaken, that's his kunya, Abu Sa'id. I believe his name was Sa'id ibn Malik. Alright. In this last hadith, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, it's been related in the Sahih Imam Muslim on behalf of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, I have not been ordered to search into the hearts of people, nor to tear them open in what is concealed among them. Meaning that we judge a person based on their appearance. We don't, try to dig to find out really what they secretly believe. Okay? We judge a person based on their appearance. If they give you the salams, you assume they're Muslim until proven otherwise. Okay? An example of this is, if I meet you, you meet me. Assalamu alaikum. You say what? Right. Then you would assume that I'm Muslim, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If I say, Assalamu alaikum, you say, and I say, all praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Am I Muslim?
No.
Why?
Because there's no God except Allah, right?
Right. But I just expressed and said, all praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. A'udhu billah, right? Laysa kamithlihi shay. Allah is not like his creation. Ain't no Master Fard Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at that point, you know that he's not Muslim. Huh? Nah, mukhalif lil hawada. He's different from his creation. So you know at that point, that is not from the Muslim belief, right? If I say, Assalamu alaikum, you say,
Walaikum salam.
right? No, you say, Wa alaikum salam, right? And the reason why I'm saying this, because at this point, you don't know what I believe. Then I say that I bear witness that there's no God except Allah, and that noble Drew Ali is the prophet and messenger. Am I Muslim?
No.
This is kufr, right? So this is what it means by, if the person doesn't say this, then you automatically assume, the best of them, that okay, he's a Muslim. But if he starts saying Drew Ali's a prophet, he starts saying Ghulam Ahmed is a prophet, if he starts saying that Allah has hands and feet and eyes, this is where you're exposed to their deviant belief. You see what I'm saying? This is what the Prophet ﷺ is saying. I haven't been ordered to search into people's hearts, nor to tear them open. I don't want to know what's concealed in your heart. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which goes back to the first hadith where he ended the hadith. He said, وَحِسَابُهُمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ, right? His reckoning is with Allah, right? Meaning, whatever he's got concealed, as long as he doesn't express it, or give you the second thing. Assalamu alaikum. I got on a cross and I said that Jesus is the Son of God. Am I Muslim? No. Alright? Another thing. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. You see me coming out to church with the Bible tucked under my arm on a Sunday morning. Does that look like a Muslim?
No.
So this is what this is saying. So according to the principles of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, a person is considered Muslim. You cannot declare them a disbeliever unless they say something or do something that is from the behaviors of disbelief. You see? So that's what this section is about, and that falls under the title of the judgment of what he sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with regarding the judgment of Islam upon the slave of Allah, and can be verified in this life, and his belief is in this life as well. Alright? So what he believes, what you believe in this life determines the outcome of the next life. However, if there ever was, when it boiled down to people fighting, it has to be clear to you who's Muslim, who's not. Alright? So with that, inshallah, we'll stop there. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.